Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson of phonics. Today you're going to need to pull out a scrap piece of paper and a pencil. What you're going to be writing, you're not going to be graded for it. We're just going to do a quick review, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to say a word and you're going to write every single special sound that is in that word. Like how when we do spelling, we circle the special sounds. Instead of circling them, you're going to write every single special sound that you hear in the words that I'm going to say. The first word is strongest. Strongest. The second word is blankets. Blankets. The third word is pounded. Pounded. Fourth word is checkers. Checkers. All right, if you need to go back and listen to those again, feel free to rewind and do so. Now, if you want to check yourself, here are the special sounds that were in those words. The first word, strongest, there are three special sounds. There's stir and stream, S-T-R. And then there's the special sound ong, O-N-G. And then there's est, E-S-T, strongest. The next word was blankets. Blankets had bull, B-L, bull. It had ank, A-N-K, ank. And then it had S, blankets. Pounded had two special sounds. Had ow and out, O-U, ow and out. And it had ed and wanted, E-D, pounded. The last one, checkers, had ch in church, C-H. It had k in duck, C-K. It had in verse, E-R. It had S. So checkers, checkers. Not Z, sorry, checkers. All right, you can go ahead and put that scrap piece of paper away and your pencil. And I'm going to go ahead now and say some words, some nouns. A noun is a person, place, or thing. And you're going to think of an adjective that would describe that noun. Remember, adjectives answer the questions what kind and, sorry, is it what kind? My bad. It's what kind and how many. Sorry, I drew a blank right there. What kind and how many? So the first one is going to be five different nouns, and you're going to think of an adjective to describe them. The first one is mountains. Mountains. The next one is trees. Trees. Third one is classroom. Classroom. The fourth one is desk. Desk. And the last one is bird. Bird. Now, you could have come up with any adjective that you wanted, but for myself, I picked out a few. For mountains, I have a number describing mountains. 5. How many? How many mountains? 5 mountains. For trees, I have an adjective describing how tall it was. So I could say tall trees. What kind of trees? Tall trees. Classroom. My adjective that I have is neat. What kind of classroom? Neat classroom. Desk. I have a number for that one. Desk. 14 desks. There are 14 desks in this classroom. Actually, there are 15 desks if you count Mrs. Spadano's classroom. So how many desks? 14 or 15 desks. Bird. What kind of bird? Red bird. On my bulletin board that said God is something to tweet about, I had a couple of red birds on that board. Red bird. Describe answering the question, what kind of bird? Okay. So next I'm going to read some sentences, and you're going to be pointing out whether or not they used the following words correctly. Whether they used can and may correctly, whether they used taught and learn correctly, whether they used eat, and ate correctly, and also whether or not they used the word sit correctly. So I'm going to read the sentence, and I'll allow you a chance to pick out. You don't have to write this down. You can just call it out or whatever, but pick out whether or not it was said correctly. The first sentence is, "Can I please see that book?" Can I please see that book? That would be wrong, because if you're asking permission to see the book, you would say, "May I please see that book?" You're asking permission because you can see it. You're asking permission. "May I please see that book?" The next sentence is, "Micah sitted in that chair yesterday." Micah sitted in that chair yesterday. The proper way to write that sentence would be, Micah sat in that chair yesterday. It happened yesterday. Micah sat in that chair yesterday. The next sentence is, "Abby learned me to make paper airplanes." Abby learned me to make paper airplanes. The correct way for that sentence to be read or said is, "Abby taught me to make paper airplanes." She's showing you, if you're the one who is receiving the instruction, then you are learning. But if you are giving the instruction, you are teaching. I am teaching you, and you are learning what I'm teaching you. So Abby taught me to make paper airplanes. Last sentence, "We eated our lunch early today." We eated our lunch early today. Now, proper way to write that or say that would be, "We ate our lunch early today." We ate our lunch early today. Okay, so we have been talking about adverbs for these past few lessons, and what you're going to do next, you're going to need to get out of your chair. You're going to need to stand up to do what you're going to do next. I'm going to say a verb, and when I say the verb, you are going to do what I tell you, because a verb is action, right? A verb shows action. So you're going to go ahead and do the verb that I say. I'll say it once, and then the second time I'll say it, I'll give an adverb. I'll tell you how to say it. Remember, adverbs answer the question how. So the first time I'll say it, I'll just say the verb, and then secondly, I'll say an adverb to go with the verb, and you're going to do it how I say it. For example, if I were to tell you to write, that would be a verb showing action. I wrote on the board. So if I were to tell you to write, then you would write. You're not going to. This is just an example. And then I would say the second time, and the second time I would say, "Write neatly." Write how? Write neatly. So then you would go ahead and write neatly. All right, let's see if we can have some fun doing this. The first verb, jump. Jump how? Jump high. You can go ahead and jump high. The next verb, laugh. Laugh how? Laugh loudly. So you can go ahead and laugh loudly. The next verb, sing. Sing how? Sing quietly. And the last verb, clap. Clap how? Clap quickly. Okay, so now we're going to look at the sentences that I wrote neatly on the board. We're going to pick out the verbs and the adverbs. So my first sentence says, "The campfire burned brightly." The word showing action in this sentence, or the verb, is burned. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that twice. The campfire burned brightly. And then we're going to find the word that is, the word that describes the word burned. So how did the campfire burn? The campfire burned brightly. So I'm going to go ahead and circle brightly and draw an arrow. The campfire burned how? Remember, the adverbs answer the questions how. The campfire burned how? It burned brightly. All right, so then the next sentence says, "Dad quickly set up our tent." And in this sentence, the verb showing action would be set. Dad quickly set up our tent. How did he set up our tent? Well, another thing to remember is that adverbs usually, not all, not every single one of them, but usually end in ly. How did he set up our tent? Dad quickly set up our tent. And remember, it can the adverb can be after the verb or it can be before the verb. Next sentence. We slept soundly until morning. The word showing action, the verb would be slept. We slept how? We slept soundly. Circle it and draw an arrow. We slept soundly until morning. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. You can go ahead and take a break and come back and watch the second video where we're going to be going over today's phonics worksheet together.